Welcome to the Tech Innovates Lab. The Tech Innovate Lab. So we will also discuss about in this topic troubleshooting common software errors. Troubleshoot common software problems are one of the most common area of troubleshooting that we have to deal with on a daily basis. When it comes to troubleshooting, our survives is dealing with software-related problems. So let's take a look at some of the common software problems that we find in our survivors. First is some things as simple as user not being able to log in. There are a number of reasons that a user won't be able to log onto their system. It manually ends up having to do with the user just forgetting their password or just typing the wrong password too many times, which can also help perform something like a flag being on and they don't realize it, and then their account might get logged out. But there can be other issues which have to do with the software configurations, user password expiring, maybe it changed without them knowing. There are a whole slew of issues, but this is a very common problem that we have to deal with. Another common problem is user not being able to access a resource that they are looking for. So this code come down to most typically, I would say, permissions type issue where the permission have been set up properly and therefore the user can't get access to the resource. But that's not always the case. Sometimes it can be maybe some things more network related. Sometimes we have issues with memory leaks on the software that we have installed in our servers. And so the software has a flaw in its programming to where the memory or the RAM in the system is being all gobbled up by the one applications, and then eventually that system logs up. And speaking of a system locking up, we have the dreaded blue screen of death, or what also known as stop screen. Stop screen, and this is a very common things that we have to deal with. There are all sorts of reasons that we can have a stop screen on a blue screen of death. And if you get really good at it, you can actually read some of the code that on the blue screen of death. That will help share with you what has caused this. And then we have operating system boot failures, where we attempt to just boot up the system and we can't get into the operating system the way we expect to. This can happen from either the result of either some form of drivers input-output related failures, or it could be from some kind of corrupt files that are related to booting up the operating system. I mentioned on moments ago with the blue screen of death that very often it is case become of drivers. Okay. So drivers are little pieces of software that tell the operating system how to communicate with your hardware component. Very often, if these drivers are either out of date, or even we can have the opposite problem, where many maybe they get updated but with the corrupted version of the drivers or an incompatible version of the drivers. Well, that may cause a problem, and we can also have that called runaway process, right? So I talked to you about the memory leak, right, where you can have an application which is choking up all the memory. This is an isolated secondary Secondary, where we strongly want right to the system log, which is very important to the maintenance of your system, and usually this has to do with the log running out of space knob and not being configured to be able to overwrite holders log items which new ones. And then we have just overall slow operating system performance.